shop culture, the movement, and oh man, this is special to me, man, because we go way back, me and this guy. So I'm going to let him introduce himself. Where we at?
My name is Jesse James. We're at the King's Den Beauty Academy. My first podcast I was ever on was actually Shop Culture Live with Barry, 2018, I believe.
It was 2018, and full circle. Here we are back again, and this is the movement. And I want to thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in and being a part of what we got going, where we kind of dive really deep into the barber atmosphere and the barber culture. So once again, man, thank you for coming aboard this. Let's get started. Let's kind of start at the beginning. How did you get started?
In barbering?
In barbering.
In barbering. Well, it was 2015. I went to barber school. Pretty much had no other option. My grandpa, since I was like 18, was trying to get me to go to barber school. And I used to kind of always say like, barbers don't make enough money for me. I don't want to do $20 haircuts. What am I going to do
That's
with
always,
$20?
that is always the perception. It's crazy until you get into business. But we're going to get into that.
So
are you third generation real quick?
Third generation barber, yes.
Okay.
Third generation. There's 14 barbers in my family. So finally,
Wow.
by the time I was 26, so from 18 to 26, I was saying no. Finally, I pretty much had no other choice. I was fresh out of rehab and was like 8 months sober at the time. I went to barber school. So it's pretty much just like a don't want to go to college thing, you know what I mean? So I went to barbering. Got through barber school thinking I was just going to be in the barber school business. I wasn't actually going to be like barbershop, cutting hair and doing all that kind of stuff. Opened up a barbershop for about 2 months. My dad was up here. He moved to Washington. I was in California.
Real quick, were you working for your father? Because I'm second generation barber.
So originally I opened up my own shop in California.
Okay.
Some things happened and my dad was asking me to move up here because they had so many customers at Federal Way Barber College, but not enough students. It was before we were active on social media. So, the mall was okay, but it just, we were getting more haircuts than signups. So my dad called me. He's like, move up here, help me out with this. And I'm like, no. And then, I don't know, I got like a sign down in California. I closed my shop up. I went out to eat with my grandpa. We're having lunch. And I was like, I think I'm going to go up to Washington and just see how it is. I was in a month-to-month contract, thank goodness. So I wasn't in a lease. I packed my stuff in a backpack, suitcase, drove up to Washington.
Yeah, usually in this business, real quickly, for people, they don't do month to month. Usually it's a lease.
Yes, very, very grateful. Like,
yes.
I ended up coming to Washington 10 days in a row. Moved up here after that. I was driving back and forth for the first year and a half because my son was like 11 at the time. So I would work 10 days in a row, drive down to Washington, California, spend time with him, drive back up to Washington, work 10 days in a row, drive back down for 4 days. So I did that for about a year and a half until my car broke down.
Okay. So then you what made you stay up here though?
It was wide open. So California, there's tons of barber schools, tons of barber shops. There's barber battles every 2 or 3 weeks, it seems like. It was just, the market just seemed so flooded up here. Up here, there was no real barber schools. You could just tell we were like 2 years behind. So it just...
I would even say farther than that because barber schools, we don't really have a lot. Yes, barber schools. Usually the schooling system up here is more cosmetology based, not barber based. When I went to school, we didn't even have a barber instructor.
Yeah, most of them don't. And then, so the opportunity is wide open, and I moved up here.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you got up here, you open up, or you're in the shop in Federal Way.
So then I started working for my dad when I moved up here at the Federal Way Barber College.
Real quickly, how is it working with your dad? Because I have stories about working with mine. Was it hard?
We're still kind of working together now. It's hard. It's hard, but my dad's done a really good job of giving me the freedom to do my thing. Like, what really took us off was Facebook and Instagram ads. And my dad's like 57.
Okay.
So when he hears his wild son say, let's spend $2,000 to $3,000 a month on Facebook ads, he had to have some trust to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
So the fact that he was able to adapt like that and let me kind of run with it,
it's a different way of doing business.
Yes.
But you have to be, and I'm telling everybody, you have to be on social media, I think,
Yeah.
in order to have business, in order to really have that rush of people, because that's the way that's advertising.
If it wasn't for social media, I would be doing $20 haircuts, like what I originally thought barbering was. That the internet has changed the industry in a positive way in so many ways. But I mean, for me to just be able to click a button and people come sign up for school is pretty amazing.
It is. So tell me this. I always have this question, and I want to kind of ask you this question. What do you rather have, appointments or walk-ins, and why?
So growing up with my family with 14 barbers, they were just always walk-in barbershops. So that's how I grew up. But I never agreed with it. I never thought that was the right way.
Talk about having walk-ins wasn't the right way.
No, relying only on walk-ins is not the right way. I knew that was just 1990, 1980s vibes. Which I mean, it's hard for me to really say anything, negative about my grandpa because he was so successful. But there was no internet back then, so you could get away with just doing walk-ins because you had no other choice. But now I'm trying so many different things to bring as many appointments to my barbers as possible. I'm one of those owners who I'm not just give me my booth rent every week and I'm happy to do whatever you want. I have standards in my barbershop, but I also put my money where my mouth is. I spend a lot of money advertising. I spend a lot of money trying to bring people into the door for them.
Okay, let's dive into that real quick. So as a barber owner, is it your responsibility to bring clients to your other barbers if they are sole proprietor?
I don't know if it's my responsibility, but if I'm going to open up a barbershop, I'm going to try to bring as many people into the shop as possible. Because I don't want to just have a barbershop. I want to have the busiest barbershop. I don't do things to be, mediocre. So, I mean, if a barbershop owner is not going to care enough to bring people in, then he's going to get barbers who don't care. That's what he's going to attract.
That's part of it.
I think so. I think you get what you put into it. So for me, it's my responsibility to bring as many barbers or customers to my barbers as possible. I don't know if they're self-employed. It should be. Yeah. I mean, you can make that argument, but that's just not the kind of shop I want to run.
Another question I always have about how do you determine booth rent?
That's a big question.
Good question, though.
It's a good. I think it depends on how busy the shop is.
So, one, how busy your shop is.
Yeah.
Okay.
How expensive you're charging your haircuts.
How expensive you're charging haircuts too.
That's probably the two main reasons. But it's funny because I'm opening up my new shop, Kings Bend, Auburn 2, I guess. My second one in Auburn. It's going to be my first shop that I go commission.
So you're going commission?
I'm going commission on my new shop.
Wow.
And
what's the engagement, the feedback from other barbers about commission? Are they?
Well, it's a brand new shop, so they kind of, I got two established barbers in there now. Those are my two guys I'm leaving on booth rent because they're booked up, they're this and that, they deserve it. That's fine. But all the people fresh out of barber school will be starting on commission. It's also the first shop. I'm signed up with a new company called Appointments for Barbers. They guarantee me 300 appointments a month.
Wow.
So
now are they located here in
No, they're
Seattle?
in New York. They're in New York. They're in the restaurant business for a long time. They're just mixing into the barber world now. I'm the first person in Washington to do it. They're very sharp. There's two brothers that run it, so I like working with family. They're very sharp individuals. We haven't actually started yet, but should be going December 1st here pretty soon. I'm excited for it because if that works out, that's a game changer.
Yeah, okay.
My shops will go from making $3,000 to $4,000 a month to $10,000 to $20,000 a month.
Well, it should, almost triple it.
Yeah.
Double or triple.
So back to the feedback. So because I run the February Barber College, I have.
And real quickly, the background noise.
That's a train.
It was a train, but some driver because hey, he's busy today. This is Monday. Usually, traditionally, barbershops are closed on Mondays.
Yeah.
Not no more. That used to be almost a industry standard, I was told.
Yeah.
But again,
that sounds like a union thing. It Sounds like a union thing.
We ain't doing union, right?
But it sounds like something left from back in the day, though. Something. But my shop's for 7 days a week. This school used to be 7, but I just changed it to 6. But back to the barber feedback.
Yeah.
I got the Federal Way Barber College. We charge $2,000 for tuition. I got like 80 to 100 students. I've realized that maybe with the commission shops, I won't get the top dogs. I won't get the major superstars, but I think I could get I think there's a certain type of barber that wants the guaranteed appointments. They want the guaranteed money, and maybe it's a different vibe than what King's Den barbers are used to, but I think I'll have a mix of it too.
Yeah, and every barber is going into it differently too, from the businesses of things. I can see it working because it has worked previously. So you're not the newest barbershop to do it. I think in terms of today's time, usually it's booth rental.
Yep. Maybe I keep the barber for a year.
Yeah.
That's just
but that's
part
fine,
of the game.
but you have the school to kind
I'll
of
reload.
funnel that. How is it being a barber school owner? Because I've always heard mixed views on that.
I think it's the greatest. I think if you're going to try to build a barber empire, a barber school should be your second location. Barbershop first, prove your concept, and then a barber school very close by. That would be my advice.
Is there a cap number you should have in terms of enrollment, or is it
yeah, that's a good question. That is a good question. It all depends.
Bro, I do my homework, bro.
It depends on what you want. So you don't got to be as big as a Federal Way Barber College. You just need something big enough to train your team. Because one school of 5 chairs can build you 5 shops. 10 shops.
It should be 5. Yeah, 5. Yeah. 5 for 1.
Yeah.
What the kind of, I guess the model should be, but yeah.
Federal Way is built like 9, so but okay. that's a different breed. We're very lucky though. I mean, that's not lucky.
Now, has your other schools been as successful as the Federal Way? Because this is a school.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's great size, great location. Down here, downtown Kent by Kent Station. I think Kent is just In terms of location, Kent, I think it's just.
There's a reason why Federal Way Barber College is different than all the other schools around, and that's because when I first moved up here, like I said, my dad was not complaining, but he was like, "We have a lot of haircuts here." It was me. I was making $10 an hour for my dad when I first started. I was doing a lot of $5 haircuts. My dad was doing a lot of $5 haircuts. My brother was doing a lot of $5 haircuts. We were licensed barbers doing $5 haircuts.
But real quickly, because when I do speaking engagements, that's one of the things I always tell young barbers coming up. You're not going to charge $50 or make $50 cuts. You should learn how you did it. I think you learn techniques, you learn the business, and it's a great way of motivating you for even something more.
But yes, I think you should definitely, you got to give the people a reason to try you. But what it did, those $5 haircuts that was building the school's clientele. So then in 2018, a couple years later, once I figured out social media and we started getting 10 to 20 signups a month, we had all these students and we had all these haircuts. We didn't have to build anything.
Okay.
So what these other schools try to do, which doesn't work, it hasn't worked in my Wenatchee school, it hasn't worked in this school yet. Of course, this is only 11 months old, so I got
it's still new, bro.
Yeah, I got a couple tricks up my
Schools
sleeve.
are about 2 years, what I hear.
And you can't build a clientele off student haircuts, off students cutting hair. You can't do it. They're too slow. Take an hour and a half on a haircut. How are you going to build up a 50 haircut Saturday or a 70 haircut Saturday, like we used to do at Federal Way, off hour and a half haircuts, which is one. Unless a barber is willing to knock out those 15-minute haircuts, you ain't going to build up the clientele.
Nope.
So that's what made us. So at the time, I used to not complain, but I'm just like, man, I'm a licensed barber. Why am I doing $5 haircuts? It actually was the greatest thing ever.
That's how I started. I did $5. It was lucky to get maybe 1 or 2. It was just the way it was back then, which I think is successful, man.
Yeah. $5 back then was more than $5 when I was done, all right?
Real quickly. Real quickly here, one of the things I observed coming in here is you have all women in here and they're doing haircuts and they're doing good haircuts.
Yeah.
Is that something common that are we having more women barbers in this game, or
So definitely, I would say the percentage has grown in the last like 3 years, but actually here at King's Beauty Academy, we do have some barber students, but those are cosmetologists doing the barber's haircuts. So I feel like that'll be this school's thing. Like we will
do both.
We will be the school that will teach the cosmetologists how to do women's hair, how to do all that stuff, but then also introduce them barbering as good as any of the barber schools can do, you know. Federal Way is pretty special.
How about in Federal Way? Do you have a lot of women in
It's growing. We have like 80 students. So when I say we have a lot of women, we probably have like 20, 25. I mean, it's a good number. Yeah, it's a good number. It's a huge school. It's a huge school. Yeah, I mean, I would say just in my barbershops alone are probably like 20 to 25% women. I would say I have a higher percentage of women barbers than the industry standard for sure.
Okay. I always tell women they can kill this game.
100%.
Men would rather go to a woman barber, a lot of them, than a man barber.
They can grow those $100 customers real easy.
And they can charge, yeah. So absolutely on that. Future. What are the future goals that you have?
Well, I mean,
So how many? Wait, first off, let's get the number. So how many barbershops you got?
6 barbershops.
So 6 barbershops. How many barbers schools?
3.
3 barbers.
2 barber schools, and this is a barber and beauty school. We're King's Den Barber and Beauty. So 3 schools, 1 cosmetology, and 1 hybrid.
Okay. You want to open more?
I think it really depends on how this commission thing works out. I mean, if the commission thing works out, I will probably lean more on shops because the shops will just be so powerful. You know, I do have one really big move coming for the Federal Way Barber College.
What's that?
I'm looking at getting like an 8,000 square foot building. That will be, if that move, I'm in talks right now. I don't want to give too much of it, but if that,
you got to give it a bit.
If that happens, that it'll be like a 70 chair school. I'll launch all my events out of that one building, so that's gonna cut my overhead on my events like big time, like down 5,000 per event.
Well, let's get to the event part. So you are known to put on barber battles. What made you go into that? Was it when you seen what's going on down in California, or you always had your hand in that? Like how did that get?
So I mean, the first barber competition was I went to. There's one at my school in California, and it was the guy at the time was like the big time guy in California. I went to it like it was cool, but it wasn't my thing.
Okay.
I don't think I was like in the right mindset. I wasn't looking for anything at that moment. And then the next barber battle I went to in 2018 was like I was looking for something. I asked my son what he wanted to be when he grew up. He told me a YouTuber. So I was like, how do you get cool on the internet? How do you post good? How do you make money? I think it was right after the Trump election, and I started thinking like, man, if this guy can use Twitter to be president, like I can use Facebook to make $1 million. Like that's nothing, you know? So I was in that mindset already. So then when I went to the barber battle, I sponsored all my students to compete. I was so proud that day. It really opened my eyes. And then, I left that barber battle thinking like, I could do this. I have the Federal Way Barber College. First thing I got to do is grow my school. I know the bigger I make my school, the more schools I open up, the more shops I open up, the
more representation you're getting.
The bigger the competitions are. I mean, my barbers are. The more I grow, the more my barbers seem to just love to support me.
Yeah.
Where in the beginning they were like, "Nah, it's all right, Jesse. I'm gonna do my own thing, and that's fine." You know, like I'm a show me kind of guy, anyways. You know.
Won't you tell non-barbers why they should go to and support a barber battle? Because I always get that question from actually clients of mine, and I'm surprised how many want to actually go and attend these.
Yeah.
So tell them why.
I could say, I mean, from a barber business standpoint, like the best connections I've made in the barber world, I'm talking,
absolutely,
have all come from barber battles in Washington, barber battles in California, barber battles in Vegas. Like that's where you meet the best connections. We're bringing out Basio Cuts in the next event. He's one of the biggest barbers in the country. He's given a class on like building a barber business. I met him at the NorCal Barber Expo. The guy who throws the NorCal Barber Expo throws the second biggest barber battles in the country right now. The dude's like taking me under his wing. He gave me his flyer person. He gave me his. For the last event I had, my flyer was hot. Like it was shining, and it was something that I was always missing. And the person was just amazing. The flyers, the videos, the reels, everything was just. I never put something like that together, and so that kind of stuff you miss. Now, from a cutting hair and making money standpoint, I've seen barbers go to competitions and they're charging $20 and they're doing walk-ins. To a year later, after taking third place.
Oh yeah, you definitely go up.
They're charging $40 a year later and they're fully booked out. So, I mean, I think it's a confidence booster. I think if you could, there's a difference between competing and then not competing, but I would say just going is the most important thing.
I agree.
And once you're there, you'll see that. I mean, the competitors everybody's good, but I mean, the difference between first and seventh place is like millimeters, like it's not much.
It's like competition in sports though. I mean, I always call it the Super Bowl of our industry. And that's what it is. And so I always tell non-barbers, man, go check it out. The energy, just from the competition, but just the entertainment. There are some good entertainers, local entertainers, high-end entertainers that come through and perform and do all types of things. So you're getting for the money.
Shoe vendors, you'll get some throwback clothes vendors, you'll get some vintage stuff.
And it's supporting small businesses, and I think that's so important.
And that's the whole thing with the whole like Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift thing is like they both together have grown each other. They've introduced each other to an audience that would have
absolutely,
never seen them before. Yeah. So it's the same concept. It's why a business here, a business and the business next door should do something together because it just makes your audience bigger.
That's what I'm hoping to do with this is to really, have us barbers be more united, because I think once we grow the popularity of this business, it's man.
Yeah. No, this is a really cool idea for sure. I think every barber has we all have those people who support us really hard. Those people who like every post and message or comment on every post and cheer you on all the way. I think this is a good way to bring the people who do that for you to the other barbers, and then the people who do that to the barbers also to you. And I think that's a huge thing. Yeah. Even if it's 2 people per, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I always say that 3, 4, 5, but it counts. Real quickly, how do you decompress? I like to ask barbers that because this business is hard on you from a physical side of things to the emotional side of things, because you're everything when your client comes in, from counselor to friend. So how do you do it?
So I mean, my main thing is I feel like if you're going to judge how successful somebody's going to be, the more stress and the more shit that they can take is going to be a direct indicator of how successful somebody's going to be. So for number one, I mean, I try to be able to take on as much as possible, but in the last 5 months, I mean, what's really helped me, like my mindset and everything, is I eat healthy every day now, and I work out every night, except for that week in Hawaii. I went to the gym one day in Hawaii, and that was like a sauna in there. I said, no, thank you.
Okay.
But so that's what I do. I eat healthy. I work out. I don't have much of a social life right now. I'm very dialed in. I'm probably as dialed in as I've ever been, and that's really.
Are you dating and looking, or just
not right now? Okay. Not right now.
You want to get this?
No, I'm focused on what I'm doing. I don't think I'm the. I haven't got to the level yet of where I'm the man that I even want to date. I don't want to date somebody just to date somebody. Like if I'm gonna date somebody, I want to date them to be a partner with, And I don't feel like, and maybe because I'm just like a perfectionist, I'm just not there yet. But it's been 5 months where I've really felt dialed in, where it's just I mean, I've never eaten healthy my whole life, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, you were telling me you look like you told me you lost how many pounds?
27 pounds in 75
Yeah,
days.
that's dope.
Yeah.
That goes to show
I might
you.
fuck around and get a six-pack. I don't know
well,
yet. I don't
man.
know yet. You know, we're
It's
still
out there. I always say it's out there, right?
So yeah, so I'm still finding myself on the dating standpoint, but I mean, you know, like it's not like anybody wakes up in the world and says like, you know, don't sweep me off my feet.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of a thing. So you know, but right now it's work and gym and build.
Well, the important thing, and I'm going to say this as an older, is that you have balance, though. You find your balance. You find that whatever it is to balance you out, though, because it's important. So,
But I think that's what the gym.
as long as that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If the gym is doing that, cool. Whatever is doing it for you. Some people have go to church. Some people play ball. Whatever the case is, you got to have that balance.
And maybe like turning yourself off for like 20 minutes a day.
Yes.
You know, just like
Unplug.
yeah.
The decompress.
I'm trying that. I'm reading a lot too. Well, books on tape, but it counts.
Okay. We want to do it, man. What books?
Oh man.
You can't tell us. You don't have it.
No, the one I'm on right now is the 48 Laws of Power.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good one, a very good one. I don't know, my library's right there.
Okay.
You can look at it.
We'll post it. Okay. Well, man, once again, man, thank y'all for tuning in. Shop Culture, the movement. I want to thank my man Jesse for allowing us to come in and check out his place. He's doing a great job. Why don't you give him your address and your social media handles?
Okay, Instagram is at Jesse James, the Barber Guy. And then if you're looking for barber school, at Federal Barber College. If you're looking for cosmetology school, we're here at 100 Railroad Avenue in Kent. We're running a $3,000 special right now, $2,000 for barbering. I feel like we're the #1 barber and Cosmo education at the lowest price.
And remember to Shop Culture, the movement. Thanks, man.
Thank you.